Greetings, beautiful beings. I am speaking with you today or basically, I'm back. I spoke with my brother Holip last night, and not only did I decide to do Sisters for Nationhood after connecting with him and the beautiful brothers, um, Brother Emoja, Brother Daoud, Brother Jabari, and just really fully onboarding myself with respect to the BAIO, the real BAIO. So after, you know, speaking with Hollop about Sisters for Nationhood, which I will be co-hosting with Sister Salima and hopefully joined by the other beautiful beings of the BAIO, I am also promoting the BAIO on my social media platforms. And because everybody needs to know. Now, of course, this is not for everybody, but the only way we will know if it's for anybody is if we individually share what the concept is. Um, but in terms of spirit lifters, love life lessons, after speaking with Hollop about a few things yesterday, and after he reminded me that a number of people have asked me when I'm going to post again, and I did promise at least one or two persons that I would, I decided to recommit myself to sharing my thoughts. Um, I always think about posting in the early morning when I am doing my morning meditations, my morning pages, when I am looking in the mirror and greeting the God in me. And yes, I do that every day faithfully. I look in the mirror and I greet the God in me. This is something that I this is something that I encourage each of us to do. To look in the mirror, set your intentions for the day, and greet the God in you. If you do not call the higher power God, whatever your chosen word, creator, Allah, infinite intelligence, infinite spirit, those two are my favorites. Infinite intelligence, infinite spirit, Jehovah. However you connect with that higher power, I firmly, firmly, firmly believe and know from my experiences that that higher energy lives inside of you, lives inside of me. Excuse me. And for that, I am grateful. So I mentioned my morning meditation, and I just want to read something real short to you that I'm thinking about this morning. Imagine living without the fear of loving and not being loved. Imagine not being afraid of being rejected. Imagine not having a need to be accepted. Imagine saying I love you without shame or justification, walking in the world with your heart open, not afraid of being hurt. So I am a fatherless child. I am a fatherless child. I have a father. He lives in New York. He's always had a home, even when he was married to my mother years ago, he married my mother having a secret home in the city already. and he still has that home to this day. He is an alcoholic. He has some psychological issues, and he biologically gave me his DNA, but outside of some restaurant visits on my birthday, taking me to fancy restaurants and plays, and those are things that I love to this day. So that's an influence. He's an amazing salsa dancer, so that's an influence, and I am too. Um, Outside of that, though, I am a fatherless child. I don't know what it's like to have a healthy relationship with my father. And even though I'm a woman of a more mature age, thank you to Eva Monroe for that um, phrasing. Even though I am a woman of a more mature age, I still have tears in my eyes when I think about the depth of pain and shame associated with being a fatherless child. So when I read this about imagine going through the world without fear of loving and not being loved, a little girl, a little girl needs, craves the validation of her dada. She looks for him, she looks to him for validation, protection. I am perhaps, as a woman of a more mature age, I am definitely someone who believes that a man is there to protect. The masculine energy is there to protect and provide. But there's so many of us that have never had the pleasure and the groundingness that we needed, that we need from having a father to protect and provide, to guide us, to tell us to be the model of the man that we should engage with, perhaps marry or enter into a long-term relationship with. So, in terms of the excerpt I just read, we do go through, or if we don't work on ourselves, we do go through life being afraid of loving, and we do go through life being afraid of being rejected because the first man in our lives, the first man that was supposed to tell us they love us, let us down and broke our hearts. Broke our heart. The first man that let us down broke our heart. That didn't show us love, didn't validate us as a being, broke our heart. So it does set the tone for, or it can set the tone. Perhaps there are those that manage to escape the ills of being a fatherless daughter. But imagine going through life without fearing loving, being this loving energy. And I've done it. I've definitely been one that's been on board for just showing love. And I still am there, but I'm a little bit more cautious now. I'm a little bit more cautious. But I've done it. I've been courageous, I've been brave. I've gotten in the arena and I've gotten my butt kicked. Shout out to Brene Brown for that conversation about vulnerability. And you can't speak on it if you're not willing to get in the arena and get your butt kicked. So I've gotten into the arena and I've gotten my butt kicked by showing everybody love, overlooking when they've misused my kindness and taken it for weakness and stupidity, blatantly, as if I can't see what's going on, and I still chose to show them love because my way of being is to treat people the way I want to be treated. And now, instead of allowing people, giving people the benefit of the doubt, shout out to Dr. J, who says there should be no doubt. Agreed. But I have in my years given people the benefit of the doubt and been extremely disappointed in what they gave me back. Extremely disappointed in the choices that they made and how they decided to treat this loving fatherless child. And I am a very candid person, so I lay everything out on the table. And I have watched time and time again as I've told one friend how another friend treated me, or one relative how another relative treated me, and then watch that said relative do the same thing. Because unfortunately, human beings, human beings take people for granted. Unfortunately, you not a lot of human beings do not choose to treat people the way they want to be treated. It's unfortunate. However, I did the work. I'm doing the work. I still choose love. However, I keep my circle small. And now I allow people to earn the right to hear my story. That's a lesson. That is a lesson. I allow people the opportunity to earn the right to hear my story. And if you display energy that is contrary and upsetting to my spirit, because spirit never lies, I remove my energy from you. I heard not Emoja, I'm sorry, Brother Daoud say that, or I read that in one of his Facebook posts about, excuse me, about um, he will, you know what you've done. If he will cut you off, if because there's no need to talk about it because you know what you've done. And I'm on board with that. I don't know if Brother Dawood you're still on if you still feel that way, but I'm on board with that. And we're adults here. And I might tell you, but a lot of times people don't want to hear when people will listen to you praise them all day. But the minute you say, you hurt me, even if you say it in the kindest of ways, it's been my experience that is not received well. So going forward, I remove myself. When my spirit is ill at ease, I remove myself from the energy. Is that simple? It's that simple. But I still choose to be a loving presence because that's who I am. I think that's who we all are when we come into this world. But I think as fatherless children, male and female, there's something about the message of love that gets lost along the way. So, shout out to the brothers that I know in the BAIO that are fathers and doing their things. Brother Daoud, Brother Amoja. I don't know too much about you, but I do know that I hear children in the background. So there's some children in your lives. Shout out to the fathers. Shout out to the fathers that may not have their biological children, but their godfathers and uncles. That's you, Holub. Um, Shout out to my fella who is an amazing father to his children and an amazing father figure to mine. Shout out to all the uncles out there and all the men that are taking young women and young sons under their wings and asking them how they are doing and really paying attention to the answer and then asking a follow-up question, not just accepting I'm all right as an answer, but really putting some love into our Black families and into our African families and circles by being a loving presence and making sure you tell them that the doors and the lines of communication, the lines are always open for them to lean on. They may not do it right away, they may not believe us, but if we keep doing it, perhaps when they're in a crisis, they might reach out. And as a fatherless child who had to navigate this world on my own and figure out, make my family a family of friends, or make my friends my family of friends, I had to learn from the energies that presented itself to me in as parental figures because, you know, not complaining, just explaining my truth and using this truth to perhaps help someone. But the truth is that those that were responsible for me let me down. They let me down. So I had to navigate this world and figure things out on my own. And I'm still learning, I'm still growing. I am a slow flow and I am um what's the phrase I'm looking for? Perhaps a late bloomer in a lot of ways. I was extremely naive, extremely sheltered. I didn't know a whole lot, but I was looking for love. So I made mistakes. I made mistakes. But from the time I was 15 years old, I realized that I needed to share what I learned. So that's where Spirit Lifters Love Life Lessons comes in because I want to share what I've learned and what I'm learning along the way. And I want to learn from anyone willing to speak, whether it's on this platform, on the Sisters for Nationhood platform, the Real BAIO, where the brothers are platform, Latasha Pillow Talk with Latasha from the BBSG group. I want to learn. Okay, so that's it for now. Peace and blessings, beautiful beings.